What it do, YouTube/Patreon/BitShoot. Today's video, I want to chime in with a quick impromptu video. In today's video, I want to talk about next heir to the throne. Yes, next heir to the throne. When I say heir, I don't mean A-I-R. I mean H-E-I-R. The next heir to the throne. Right? That royalty bloodline. See, in life, right? We all inherit things differently. You know, some of our relatives may leave us inheritance in a physical, monetary way. Some of our relatives may leave us inheritance in the form of stability, as in a house, or some of our relatives may leave us a legacy, as in a business or empire they built. And some of our relatives may leave us with royal blood, right? See, you can inherit things differently. See, when people think of inheritance, they always think money or a house or a business or something like that. They don't know that you can inherit greatness through your genetics. Yes, a lot of people don't know that you can inherit greatness through your genetics. See, let's say if your parents, a lot of people's parents never really got a chance to really make it because of how they were raised and things like that. Because like I said, I was born in 1995. So my parents, the generation they grew up in, and their parents, the generation that their parents grew up in, it was all kind of like a trap to trap us in this current generation, to trap the 90s and like the 80s generation by how we was raised through trauma. You see what I mean? And basically all this shit was set up by design, like single parent homes, the man not being in the house and things of that nature. Don't get me wrong, you have incidents that do happen, real life occurrences. I do understand that. I do understand that, and I do overstand that. But at the same time, on the deeper scheme of things, this shit is all a government psyop, all a government design plan to destroy the Trinity. And you have single parent households in all different nationalities and all different ethnicities. It's not just black people. They try to play that as it's just black people or so-called Negroes, so-called African Americans, whatever they want to call us. They try to paint it as just us. No, it's different minorities. It's different people in general, different skin shades, different skin tones, different walks of life. They have single parent homes, they have drugs, they have violence in the community. All this shit is all over the world. So I'm speaking in general. So whoever resonate with this, no matter what your skin color is, whoever resonate with this, I don't want nobody to feel like they left out. If you don't resonate with this shit, then this shit just not for you, no matter what background you come from, type shit. If you don't resonate with it, then you don't resonate with it. If you do, then you do. This message is for you. And that's for all my videos. If it resonates with you, then the message is for you. So the thing is like this, right? A lot of people, they didn't grow up with parents. Or if they did have parents, their parents was absent in some aspect, whether it's emotionally, financially, spiritually, or mentally, you know what I mean? Or even sometimes physically, depending on your situation. A lot of people, they grow up and being shaped and molded based off that. And a lot of people grow up and their family don't have anything, so they're left with nothing. But that's what they want you to think. See, your parents could have had some great abilities and talents, and then your grandparents, which is your parents' parents, they could have had some great talents and abilities as well. You see what I mean? Like my great grandparents were jazz musicians. You see what I mean? So that's where the music comes at in my bloodline, and maybe their parents could have been musicians as well. I don't know that, but I know my great-grandparents were jazz musicians. You see what I mean? And they could have been talented in other aspects of things as well. You see what I mean? I know a lot of people in my immediate family are good at art. Like my mother is good at art. A few of my uncles are good at art. I'm good at art. My sister is good at art. You see what I mean? So it's good in the genetics. So that how this shit is set up in society is, if you're not left with a house, or if your parents or your relatives don't leave you no money, or they don't leave you nothing, then you just poor, you fucked up. Not necessarily true. You see what I mean? See, you have to go through struggle before you could come into power. You have to go through the bad shit before you could get to the good shit. You see what I mean? So basically, you're going to go through hardships before you come into power, into life. So basically what that means is a lot of us, we think that our parents didn't leave us no inheritance, or we think our relatives didn't leave us anything because it wasn't a monetary gain. But they did leave you inheritance. They left you inheritance of greatness in your genetics. See, like I said, a lot of people, a lot of us, we inherit our parents and our great-grandparents and just our bloodline's genetics. And in those genetics, we inherit those royal gifts of like singing, art, dancing, the ability to be able to do mathematics and engineering and doctors and in the medical field, physicians, just all type of shit. Like having those traits and those genetics in your bloodline is a blessing. That is inheritance. Because most people, right, and you can ask a lot of people this shit too. Most people, you know, it's multiple people born into a family. This is an example. Let's say you got a family. You got your mom, your dad, you got your brother, your sisters. Let's say the family got 3 sons and like 2 daughters or some shit. And the 3 sons, let's say each son has a different type of, let's say 2 sons. One can draw, one can dance, and then the other one can draw, dance, sing, play basketball, and all that shit. And then the other 2 girls, they good at business. See, one of the boys, yeah, they got a talent. They got one of the traits. They can dance. Maybe they have some other talents, but they know for a fact that they can naturally dance. And then let's say and this is an example. Let's say one of the other children, one of the other boys, he can draw. You know what I mean? He can't dance, but he know naturally he could just pick up a pencil, get some paper, and he could draw what he see. That's a talent. And then let's see the third son, he has all those abilities in one. He can draw, he can dance, he can sing, he can do all type of shit. You see what I mean? He will be the next heir to the throne because he has inherited mostly all of the powerful qualities. Now, we're not saying that other children are not important because they are. They have abilities, they have talents. But he will be next heir to the throne because he inherited more of the gifts that his parents left him in the bloodline. Because, and let's say in the past, some of your great-great-great-grandparents could have been farmers, and then they had children, and their children grew up to be business owners, and then they had children, and then their children grew up to be fucking musicians type shit. And let's just say out of all those different bloodlines and shit, let's say you born, you might have all those gifts. You might have the gift of being able to do business, the gift of being able to study medicine, the gift of being able to sing, dance, all that type of shit. You'll be next heir to the throne. You'll be like next, like in royalty in your bloodline. Because back in royal days, the people who came from a royal bloodline, they were always able to have special talents. Like if it was one, they always had at least one special skill or talent that nobody else had. Whether it was like, and this is an example, this is like whether it was sewing or planting fruits and shit like that. And I know a lot of people gonna say, oh, those are some basic examples. A lot of people can do that. Yeah, true, but not really. A lot of people couldn't grow food. A lot of people couldn't grow fruit. I mean, a lot of people couldn't sew clothes and things of that nature because they was just like average people. And we're not saying that average people was nothing wrong with them. It just always was people that had stronger attributes or stronger natural abilities. You see what I mean? So you will be next considered royalty in your bloodline because you have all these gifts. You have all these talents. And if you do the right thing with them, you will be able to make money from those gifts and talents that you have inherited in your bloodline. And you can take care of your family and your people like that. That's how it's supposed to be done. But now it's being pimped out to where if you have these gifts and shit, Hollywood, and not even just Hollywood or just people in general, if you got the wrong people around you, because there's good people in Hollywood too. There's good people everywhere you go. Remember that it's good and bad in everything you do. No matter where you go, it's good and bad. No matter who people you meet, it's good and bad. Every people, you have to have a level of discernment. But let's just say, for example, like you got some people that see the talent that you have, but they want to manipulate it and try to control it for their own benefit. You have to be able to notice that, see that, and remove yourself from those people Because if it was people around you that really wanted you to benefit and grow, they would see your vision, or they'd do their best to see your vision, and they would support you no matter what, even if they don't even know what the fuck this shit gonna lead to. But they know that you really believe and you have a passion for it, and they gonna support you no matter what. They gonna believe you. They gonna want to bring the best out of those talents. They gonna want to bring the best out those gifts and abilities because they know you'll be next heir to the throne. And then let's say if that person was to pass away, God forbid, then the next relative that has the next amount of skill, talent, wisdom, and knowledge will be next heir to the throne. Because think about it. It's just like a president or a prime minister or a dictator. I'm just giving examples. Most of these people that they elect is who's the most appealing, who has the most skill level, who has the most abilities and talents type of thing. If you think about the people who run in these countries and shit, these are not just average motherfuckers. Most of these people have survived and overcame some very tragic shit, which gives them a lot of inner strength, a lot of charisma, a lot of pizzazz and spunk to, have that light. You know what I mean? These not just average people running these countries and shit like that. These people have talents that they inherited through their bloodline. Real shit. Like, for example, a lot of these billionaires and millionaires, a lot of these people are first generation successes. A lot of these rappers and shit are first generation successes. They're the next heir to the throne. They are the heir to the throne. Because all those abilities and talents, they recognized it, they was able to use it, and they applied it to their life, and they made money off of it. It's not just making money off of it, but they basically they learn how to use that junk DNA, what they call junk DNA, which is really 90%, I think, or 80% of your real true DNA, like that true untapped potential. A lot of people tap into that, and they tap into their royal blood, and they can access all these different abilities and shit that's hidden inside of us, and we all have them. You just have to be able to bring them out. Like Professor Griff said, you need a curriculum to bring them out. Like, we all have gifts and talents and abilities, no matter who you is. You just need that right curriculum or that right person or that right experiences to bring it out of you. Wake the damn up. More videos coming soon. Love yourself. Be yourself.